minute. Okay, and we are live, baby. Welcome to the Real Talk Chicks, the Real Talk Chicks with Lady Free,
Hey.
Barbie, and
Okay.
Zany. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, with Lady Free,
Hey.
Barbie,
Okay.
and Zany. Yeah, yeah, with
Hey.
Lady
Uh.
Bar,
Ah.
and
What?
yeah. All
You
right,
might we
y'all,
might need to go
listen.
record that. That's about to be the thing. We should just
Well,
record it.
honey, yes, we can. So, honeys, chickadees, how y'all week been?
Whew. Let's go to the next
Mm.
topic.
Uh-oh.
Okay. That's what I'm like. What's
Okay, well,
today?
we'll talk about
Today
that in
Monday?
private then. Yes, today's only Monday.
Today's Monday. I woke up at 7 o'clock fussing out employees because it's not happening. Just like don't start on a Monday, y'all. Give people
Well,
time. People have been in the Lord with the Lord on Sunday.
right.
Don't come for people on Monday. That is the worst day to like just start some stuff. Start it on
Well,
Wednesday. You
not
know what I'm
on hump
saying?
day. Not
Start
on
it
hump
on
day.
hump
Say
day
on
because hump day
Wednesday.
we done had a little time. We done warmed up Monday. Don't start with me on Monday,
Well,
please, because you
sorry.
get the full.
When do you think the devil start messing with you? Right after church,
Usually around Saturday.
right in the parking lot,
Right.
right in the
Sometimes in church
pews.
during service.
Okay. All right. The pastor
Okay.
said something that you needed to hear, but you mad. And here go that little voice saying, see, he being messy. You see how he all up in your business. And you think everybody know your business because the pastor spoke about it. He didn't
No,
know.
because
The
you be
Lord
posting
was
it on
using
Facebook.
him. Huh?
Because you be posting it on Facebook. That's why everybody knows.
The
Oh.
Lord. Yeah,
Why
I be
not?
making my
Why
jaw
Her
drop.
husband was goddamn with Sister Rosemary last week. We started
Ooh.
together.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay then. Somebody.
Like, okay then.
Okay then.
All
That's
right.
it.
So, chicks, listen. This topic, Barbie, I'm attributing this topic to you
I don't know why she keep
because
doing
you
that.
sent us a video, and that
Mm-hmm.
video that you sent, we end up having conversation about it on just GP. So I said, okay, let's just talk about this. It's the gender wars. Now, let me begin by saying I haven't really been on social media like that. So
Okay.
I had no clue that it was truly like an exhausting gender war happening, like it's happening. I've always known, the battle of the sexes and the general stuff. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that it had gotten as big as it is right now. And I'm telling you, once I got offline, I felt not anxiety. It was a feeling I felt I cannot explain because it was almost as if you detoxed and now you're getting back into what you detoxed from. And the feelings that it was almost like, man, so now I got to be politically correct. Now I got to make sure I know all the facts. People going to be watching. And it was like all of those thoughts start coming back into my head. And it's like, girl, but you've been living your life. You've been having a peace of mind, everything, without knowing all of this extra stuff about the gender war. So why you tripping? Say what you know. So I had a
I
hard
think that's
time
always
trying to.
been a thing. They just gave it a title. This is
Right.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold my peace on this one until
No, girl, go
no
ahead.
until because I want to what we need to do is unclog what we're talking about because
Right.
there's backstory and it's actually going into what Free was talking about being on social media. It's y'all it's gonna float it. Trust the process. It's gonna float
Okay.
it
Okay.
because when I tell y'all what we talked about last week,
Yeah.
be careful who is in your ear
Right.
about these things, but I don't want to take away from the subject, but from the messenger. Let's just say that
Gotcha.
the
Because,
messenger. So let's
baby, the
mm-hmm.
truth behind gender wars, the way I started, I would say that the war started from the very beginning. From the beginning, it started. It was, it's that woman you gave me. Because isn't that what's going on right now? Everybody's finding a reason to blame the other person. It's that woman you gave me. Oh, it was the serpent that did it. So I know that although this is a very natural situation that's going on right now, I just tend to think about it from the beginning, from the origin, because that's where it all began. This is nothing new. Like you said, now we're just putting titles on it. And then we got our little magnifying glass, and now we have made it bigger. So now we're looking for every little thing that could possibly be wrong with it, and we magnify it. And we've made a thing of something. It's a distraction, people.
Yeah.
It's a distraction.
And I don't even think that the men are even competing with us. I think it's the women saying, I can do this all by myself. And then they're trying to take a role that really is too heavy to take. With this title of I'm an alpha male, female. First of all, let's check that, right?
Okay.
When they came up with that alpha male term, first of all, I don't believe in that alpha male. I'm gonna tell you why. When you see lions, there's only one in control. There's none competing for the control. None. Is the king and everybody else following.
Come on.
So we don't have a need for an alpha male because there's just a leader. Okay.
You have an alpha anyway.
Up there.
Right. You have an alpha.
He's the alpha. Oh, he said that.
He did.
He said, I am the alpha.
Ain't no alpha male and ain't no alpha female. You have alpha. Who was got to say? That's what I'm saying. Watch all of this. We're gonna get there. We're gonna come around to it. Come on, Zane, because you preaching.
Come on, go girl.
And then here now, as a female, with that I can do it by myself mentality. Like I said, you try to, first of all, it's named alpha male. Because it's trying to signify a role here.
Right.
And the role you're trying to take on a role, again, like I said, that you're not built for. You want to be treated like a woman. You want to feel soft. You want to be taken care of. But then if you tell a man I'm the alpha male, then what you're telling him is, I don't need you. I can do this. I can go out here, hustle for myself. I don't need you to take care of me. I can take care of myself. I don't need you to protect me. I can protect myself. But then in the same turn, you turn around saying that's what I need from a man. How?
Well, I think it goes deeper than that.
Where you at?
I think that it goes deeper than that because y'all just said it. Everybody pointed up, right? He says, I am the alpha. And then he said, let us make man in his own image, male and female. He didn't say alpha male and alpha female. He just said male and female. But this is not for everybody. Okay, so let me put this disclaimer out here. This is for people who believe in Jesus Christ, who understand the book, and for people who desire to understand more and get the tools. Let me tell you about the tools. I'm not the best at it, but I put my lashes on today.
Okay.
And let me tell you about that. Thank you, but don't look too close. Okay, so let me tell you about that. There's a tool that they gave me in this doggone kit. I was trying because when you have nails, especially when you're not used to them, you don't really know how to do. You be all like, and it's just not happening.
It's hard.
So something said to me, i.e., the one that leads and guides me, pick up the tool that you are given and use the tool. I didn't know how to use that tool because I was like, all these excuses is gonna poke myself in the eye, all kinds of stuff. But then it was like, okay, learn how to use the tools that are given to you to get the job done. So I did what I could. I did the best that I could, and then I figured out the little end pieces I could, pinch and do all of that. I'm saying that to say this. This show is about giving people the tools. Yes. Either you're going to take the tools and you're going to use the tools to get the job done, or you're going to come up with all of these other excuses as to why you could do it without the tools that are provided. That's the disclaimer. Now.
But you know what? Can we even go deeper than that? When we say alpha, Because what's the definition of alpha? Let's break it down. What's the definition of alpha?
Gonna make me do some work. Come on here.
It's just a Greek letter. It's the first letter in the Greek alphabet.
Uh-oh. It's the what?
First letter in the Greek alphabet.
So even when God says I'm the Alpha and Omega, he says I'm the beginning and the end.
Come on.
So alpha means first beginning. How could anybody call themselves an alpha in anything? Because you ain't the first man and you ain't the first woman.
And you're not the last.
And let me tell you even more so about that. He says, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That's the end, right?
Yeah.
The last letter. So anything in between the beginning, the first, and the last has to get in line with what's happening in the origin. In the origin. Where I get that from? In the origin and in how everything ends. It's the beginning of the story and how the end of the story is. If you want to be a part of that, you're gonna have to get in line. You can't, we've made up all of this other stuff. And yes, there is valid reasons behind why people have come to the conclusions that they've come to. It's about perspective. And yes, they could throw some history on it. They can throw our ancestors on it. They can throw all kind of things that happened here, there, the stories that was passed on. All of that stuff is valid. So let's get that out the way. But it still comes in the middle of the Alpha and Omega. You can't go above the Alpha and say, oh, well, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to use the tool like this. And you turn it on the other end and start doing this. You're going to poke yourself in the eye. Come on.
Sure. I think this season, this generation, not just this generation, us as mankind, to me, we have to name everything and try to define everything so we can have understanding when you can just have understanding. You don't need the title, because that's where, if we're talking about our people believers, that's what faith is. I don't need a title. I know who God is.
Right.
I know what he's done for me. He's proven himself. He showed himself. So it's like, as mankind, we have to, this is called alpha male, this is called alpha female, when really it has nothing to do with what they're talking about. Nothing to do with what they're talking about. We just need to put a title on it so we can put parameters on it, so we can define and we can divide, so we can define and divide what we're talking about, so we can have more. So not only will they have an understanding, they'll have a title with it. And this is becoming a crazy cycle of, we give it a name, we name it a thing. Like we give it a name, we name it. It's just now y'all just throwing stuff out here. When really nobody, like what Zane and Free said, nobody is the Alpha. God is your Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and the end. Now, if you just coming in here as a woman, and see, this is what I'm saying, is giving them an excuse. Well, I'm just an alpha female. No, you're just a woman who maybe had a hardship in life where you had to do it all on your own. So now that's the only position you know how to play, baby. And that's okay. We can heal from that. But we can't heal from when you title something and now you've labeled yourself as this. So you're not going to go outside of that parameter. Well, I'm just an alpha female. They got to accept me for me. No, baby, that's not you. That was a season in your life. And now you define your entire life off of this title that mankind gave you. You were never alpha. We weren't built that way. It hurts. It's stressful. You're tired. You're running, trying to be him, her, they, all of them. When you should have just played your position. Everybody has an issue with playing their positions and their roles. Let God be God. Let him be that for you. You be the woman who does not have to be in charge, but can listen and be a helpmate. And whoever chooses you as his wife, let him be the lead, not alpha.
Come on, Barbie. Come on.
Let him be the lead. Play your position and stop worrying about titles. It's becoming crazy. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't understand is just because I'm not claiming a title of alpha doesn't mean I'm not a strong black woman.
Yes.
I have strengths. I have weaknesses. I'm strong in my own right. But God even says when I'm weak, he says, I'm strong for you. So you really can't lose. If we just keep it simple, because we've made it so complex, because everybody is seeking that one thing. to let everybody know I have knowledge.
Validation.
It says in the word,
Validation.
everybody's going to come to a point where they just want to be smart. They just want to let you know how much wisdom they got, and that covers up a lot of insecurities. Now, this is not for every person that is we're never going to talk on every single person and say, well, all women, all men, all out. No, we're not doing it. But what we are doing is letting people know you still strong, chick. You're strong. You are not bossy. Just because you're a boss, you don't have to be bossy. You can be strong in your own right. The women that after slavery was done, I think I was born in the wrong era, because I love when they was wearing those Zoot suits, when the men had the hats on, when the women would walk by, they'll take that hat and like, how you doing, missus? They had the respect for the women, and the women had their outfits on with their hats and their gloves, and they walked down the street and they was just doing the same thing. I love that. Because
and then they gave it a title. You are now androgynous. That was a title.
See?
And then androgynous turned into you lesbian.
What happened?
Like, no, what?
See what happened? We were elegant. We were beautiful.
Yes.
We walked down the street and everybody looking like, whoa. And we turned all of that around. But see, let me tell you something. If you know me and you know how my mind works, I know that there's a plan in play. You got the spiritual plan and you got the worldly plan. And there's a plan in play. It's a puppet master behind all of this. God says he will take the foolish things to confound the wise. Everybody's trying to find God, that spiritual wisdom, that thing, the horoscope, everything. Everybody's trying to find the spiritual, enlightened, uplifting wisdom of God.
Power.
And sometimes they don't even realize that we were created, I don't care who you are, to be in pursuit of God.
Yeah.
So why
the end of it.
Right. So while everybody's trying to find their place and be wiser than the next person, and then you see a podcast, and then this is what I experienced today. One person has a podcast and they're speaking their truth, but they didn't say this though. So that, to me, that just means that they this. And it's like, oh my goodness, everybody want to be smarter than the other person. God says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is what? The end of it is death. We killing each other, and it don't have to be a pow death. We killing each other with our tongues. We killing each other, and that's not the way it was meant to be. All because what? There's got to be some kind of chaos, because the normal for us, our norm is chaos. It's just.
I have to agree. When Zane said people are looking to be validated. And then the sad part is, after they feel validated, after what Free said, you want to be smarter than the next. You got a group of people on social media agreeing with you. So now you feel validated, but you still lost because you're not fulfilled.
My goodness.
Where's the gap?
Where's full the feel. How you get your full feel?
And that's the thing. I feel like we're defining things incorrectly, like even down to what you said, Free, about wanting to be strong. How are we defining strength? You know what I'm saying? And so because we're defining it incorrectly, we find ourselves acting poorly. Don't realize, and that goes back to what you said, Barbie. Don't realize what we're seeking. We're not being fulfilled. So what you gonna keep doing when you're not being fulfilled? You're gonna keep seeking.
Yep.
You're going to keep seeking for something, but you're going down the same road because you'll keep doing the same things to get the same outcome. And you think you're getting different outcomes, but you're getting the same outcome. And then you're wondering, why haven't I succeeded? This person did. Now it's a competition. And it was never meant to be a competition.
That way.
It was never because your gifting is not somebody else's gifting. Your voice is not somebody else's voice.
Come on.
You can say something. They could say something different, but it'll still come back to one conclusion. And that's okay. That's just like in the Bible when it says one plants and one waters, right? That's
Yes.
because the person who planted did not have to necessarily say the same thing that the person who watered it did.
Exactly.
It was two different jobs.
But it's all to make sure that that plant grows up to be what? Healthy. But then we got
Same
the weeds.
outcome.
But then we got the weeds. Oh, the weeds are just as beautiful, honey. I'm just as beautiful as that plant that's growing up, baby. Oh, yes, honey. And then you come in, you a baddie weed, and you choke out all the life. Instead of the growth, now we see a whole bunch of dead fields. God says the harvest is plenty, the laborers are few. Why are we so few when we have so many people in this world? Because everybody choking out everybody else, and we got a couple of flowers over there trying to survive. It's not a war. It should not be a gender war, because I'm going to read something for y'all. But y'all go ahead and keep the conversation going while I find it.
And you know, that's another thing. We despise correction. When somebody tells you a word of correction, then we want to attack that person back. And everybody can stand correction because none of us are 100% right about everything.
Right.
We're all growing and learning. So you see that a lot too. Women feel like a man is not being a man, but she don't even know how a man should be.
Thank you.
Yeah. And every man is not going to be the same.
Right.
And you can never, just like women say, you don't know how women go, you don't know how I feel to have a baby. And they never will. Men will never know that feeling.
Right.
They don't. And then it's crazy because what Zane was saying, you'll never know what it's like to be a man. So how do you tell a man that you're acting like a man? You're playing a man's position. You won't ever play his position. You don't even know what his position is.
We distorted our strength.
Come on.
And a lot of times, let me tell y'all, okay, so this just came to me, so I'm going to say it, okay?
Okay.
I heard, I don't know where I heard it from, but there was a particular podcast. I was scrolling, just trying to figure out some information so I wouldn't look stupid on the podcast. See how that thing worked? So I said, forget it. I just took all of it, threw it out the window. But it was like, she said something about back in the day, the white women were a certain way and the black women were a certain way. So then the black women tried to be like how the white women were, going out into the workforce, because if they were seen out in the street just casual, the white women would be like, you trying to be like how I am. That's not going to work. So they tried to put the black women to work for them and all that stuff. And I probably got it wrong a little bit because I just skimmed through it. But let me tell y'all what I believe. Okay. I believe that as Black people, there was a heritage and there was a legacy that we truly believed in, not just as a Black people, as a God people. Okay. And legacy was important because it keeps generations going. So we had it right when the mother was stay home and take care of those children, because we knew we was teaching our kids right. We knew that we was rearing our kids up right. We knew all of that stuff was happening, and it was coming from a place of love and a place of mommy. Mommy is doing this. I got the kids. It was no pre-K for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, all of that came, and I get it. Men were missing from the home and women. And see, you see how it just goes down the rabbit hole, because now I'm trying to explain everything before I come back up to the point I'm trying to make. So nobody won't be thinking, oh my God, she talking like, no. What I'm saying is our women took care of our kids. The kids were the most important thing because we knew that the kids were going to take what we taught them, and the legacy would be strong and it would be rich. Then a lot of stuff happened, whether the man was out of the home because of incarceration or because of he wasn't there, and all of this stuff that happened. The man was got out of the home, and all of a sudden we had to work and all that stuff. Okay, we get it. But when we stopped staying to the point of rearing our kids up, the kids are the only people in this war, this battle between man and female, male and female, and all that stuff. The kids are the only one in that battle on the front line that's getting killed. while we warring with each other. What happened to us desiring to make sure we raise our kids and instill in our kids? The Bible says it, train up a child in the way they should go. And everybody can't be wrong. Train them up in the way they should go. Now, for the fact that we have to go out in the field and we have to work and glean like Ruth did, there's still reward for that as well. But that doesn't mean I'm alpha because I had to do some hard things, because life is hard. Life was hard for those women who stayed in the house. Life is hard for those women who went outside and come home and still have to do it. Life is just life. Life is hard. But at the same time, though, I'm not alpha. What I am is a woman who's weathered some storms. I'm a woman who went through some challenges and I conquered some things. But at the end of the day, I am glad that I have a strong man that I allow to be the head of my household. I still get affirmed and I still get considered, and we had to work through some things for us to get to where we are right now. But I'm at peace because I'm not trying to war with him. I got my back towards his back. So anything that's coming after me, he can see, and anything that's coming after him, I can see. We fighting what's fighting us. That's how it should be. Fight what's fighting your man. Don't fight your man because girl, I was out there. I cut my own grass. Honey, I don't need.
Okay.
Girl, why would you want to cut it? I mean, yeah, you can cut it. We can do everything.
That's what I'm like.
I can do better. I mean, we know women. We are the best. We know.
My thing is, I think I've, in a short amount of time, played every position. I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 or 4 years. I was just all work, head of the household, meaning financial head of the household. Matter of fact, there was a time I worked all the way up till I was pregnant. I didn't go on maternity leave until I went into labor and delivery. That's when I stopped and went back to work the next week. I was single mom, and out of all of that, working hard, doing what I had to do, being a stay-at-home mom, that's why I ran back to work. I was like, this is hard. This sucks. Like, I do not like this. I'm here all the time. But after all of that, there was no point in time where I said to myself, I love being a man. That never crossed my mind.
Never.
That never crossed my mind. So let's not get confused. Let's not get this confused as women, especially as Black women, because you're stuck in a situation because you have to do it all, that you're an alpha female. You're not acting like a man. You're taking care of business and things that have to be done. And you're not that happy. You're not telling me you're that happy.
Hey, do you know what?
Go ahead, Zane.
We don't realize, honestly, the health benefit, the health effects of that. And what I mean by that, my mom had to be what we consider what is being defined as the alpha male, even in her marriages, right?
She's the head of household.
Yeah, she had to manage the money. She had so much she had to do.
And could do it.
But she shouldn't have had to.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I watch her today, and my mom has a mass on her brain to where now she can't even remember things. She has not been diagnosed with dementia because she doesn't have it. I truly believe it's because of the mass on her brain. Why? She had to overwork her body in a way that it was not performed to operate. And so it affects your health. And people don't realize that. It is good to rest. That's why God made a day of rest even for himself. It said on the seventh day he rested. But when you are in, oh, you think
I said, didn't he do it?
Yeah. So when you always in go mode, because I am alpha, okay, then guess what? Your body doesn't rest, and then you have health defects. Because it also started with her with fibromyalgia.
Wow.
Where you just having pains for no reason. Phantom pains. You don't even know why you can't get out the bed some days. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Fatigue.
Like,
Yeah.
come
Yep.
on, that's not okay. And I remember I had started getting fibromyalgia, and where I would put the sheet on my body, and the sheet would hurt my body
Oh,
because
Mhm.
I was doing too much at that time where I couldn't rest, and I was at a point in life where I had to. But who wants to be that way all for the rest of their
right.
life? Stop claiming that mess.
And we're not saying, even while I'm married, I'm an independent woman because I know who I am, not because of what I do.
Right.
That's my definition of my independence. This cycle is going to keep going on to the next generation because it's being glorified.
Yeah.
Alpha female. It's being glorified now. And then now it's like, well, I don't want to do it, but I got to do what I got to do. That's still a glorification. Don't stop pumping this stuff up. You know you tired. Quit playing.
Yeah.
Just stop. It's just never ending. And the sad part is the people that's doing that podcast. This is why I'm like, we another podcast, yeah. But watch what goes into your ear, because this stuff, like we said in the beginning, is not new. And then back to what Free and Zane was saying, everybody's looking for validation, to
Yeah.
sound intellectual, to sound like they know more. Let me tell you when you know more. This is what everybody's doing now. Everybody has the same information. Let me use this as an example. Free, if I hand you some meat, some pasta sauce, and some noodles, what you gonna do with it?
Okay, first, I'm gonna get my pot and I'll put my water. No, I'm gonna
Okay.
make spaghetti.
You're gonna make
Yes.
spaghetti, right? Everybody would have said, because what you see meat, pasta, and you see noodles. We're gonna make
Right.
spaghetti. Okay.
Right.
That's what people are doing. Taking the same information, making the same thing. And then they're wondering why everybody on the same level. Because now, Zane, if I give you cheese, what you about to make with it?
I can't eat cheese.
Okay.
We're about to make some grilled cheese. Do I
We're
have
about
bread?
to make some, but see, I'm saying that's what everybody
Right.
gets stuck. If I give
Yeah.
everybody the same ingredients, everybody's gonna think about spaghetti. But taking it to the next level is realizing that if I get one more ingredient, cheese, I can make lasagna now. I may not need the pasta, but I can make whatever.
Oh,
I
you
can
said
turn it
adding
into
the thing.
something
Okay.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can turn it into something else. And that's where we have to stop letting these podcast people, Kitty Jones, I looked her up. She sounds amazing. I started watching. I'm like, oh yes, this girl. No man.
Oh, I
No,
don't
man.
even know who you're talking about. Okay.
The girl that was, when I sent y'all the video, her name is Kitty Jones. She has like a husky, a raspy voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does a lot of videos. Yeah, she spends
Okay,
a lot
gotcha.
of. She does a lot of relationship advice, and that's what we was
Yeah.
talking about last week about who you getting your
Okay.
advice from. Because
Yeah.
on another video, she was talking about eating men.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. What, and that's not blasting anybody's past. I'm just saying it's crazy that you started off with a whole nother name. You rebranded yourself. You started adding on titles, defining things. Well, see, as women, we can't be da 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 da. Feeding into this, stop feeding it. When you weren't even that person 3 years ago. You was on another podcast talking about something completely inappropriate, and now you up here giving marital advice.
Okay, so can I ask a question about? Can I ask?
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Go ahead.
Good.
Is there room for growth?
There is
And
room for growth,
maturity?
but why do you have to grow in a whole new name?
Because
Well, I'm
you
Lady
got to
Free.
change your name.
Change
Because
your
even God changed their names. To
Yeah, you
signify
can
growth.
name, but to completely, what do they say? That when marketing people, they want to rebrand you.
Rebrand.
You want
Uh-huh.
to rebrand yourself.
I get what
Like,
you say. You want to show the growth, show the
Yeah.
ugly, and then
But
show
it's-
my good.
Well, completely change, try to take down everything. This is what I'm saying. We have to, even us as ladies, we have to be careful with what we discuss here, because even if this goes further, I'm looking like, wow. Although you try to completely, and those things have changed. She never said she was wrong, whatever. She's always said she's this person, whatever. It's just like, what are we engaging in? What are we listening to? who we, and not saying that anybody that gives you advice needs to be perfect, but I get a little untrustworthy when I've seen you completely rebrand your whole image.
But I think
Can I say this? Can I say this about her though? Because I watched one of her, she had did a video at home while she was cooking for her husband. And she actually did bring up her past. She said, I was a hot mess. And she started giving details of how she was a hot mess. I'm talking about her current self.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. She had a nice kitchen.
Yeah. And she was giving details of how she was a hot mess. And she said, y'all, I wouldn't have followed me back then either. She said, but God changed me along with my husband. She said, I thank God for sending my husband, because she said we was friends back then. But I didn't see him like that. And she said, but because of him, you know, he has really helped me. And of course, with God, to really change and not be that woman who I was back then.
And I think what happens, social media gives people an opportunity to watch us grow. So they're going to see us where we started, and they're going to see us where we are going, and they're going to see changes. And some people going to think it's not real. Some people going to think it's real. Some people going to say, it's a lot of phrases people use today. But at the end of the day, though, like they say with anything, you have to eat the meat and throw out the bones.
Yeah,
true.
Because even with us, just being straight up raw, even with us, we may say some things that somebody might be watching us, be like, oh my God, I love them. But when they said this, you know, so streaming doesn't give you an opportunity to take it back or to edit it and say, dog, I didn't mean to say that, I meant to say. And that's why for me, I just feel like I'm going to give people grace, unless you're just totally off. Then I'm like, I don't have to watch that. You know,
yeah.
But yeah, we got to give people grace so that, and give them room to grow. Yeah, you're going to see the ugly parts of me. You're going to see where, like, even if you watch Shift Real Talk from back when Pastor Jay first started, I think it was a couple of times you could possibly see where I was just really like not feeling him. Like we had probably just gone through something right before the show, and I didn't know how to show it good. I think I was trying to do my best to not show it, because you know that's when everybody would be talking about. Look at her body language. That's when body language was all over. That was the phase we went through. Body language. Look how she leaned. That you know, this. And then if it was something going on in the marriage, you know, people are gonna start. They'll start making your marriage be something it's not.
Yeah.
You know, so I was trying my best, but people would have to, if they go back and look at any of the old episodes, they'll see the growth. But what I always want us to do is just understand this. I love the two of you, because Ashley Barber, you're going to be real. You're going to say what it is you got to say. I love that, unapologetically.
Love it.
Give them God. Oh, she gonna tell that. She gonna tell you about God. And she's gonna make you pick your face up off the ground in love. Okay, and I'm always gonna be transparent, because I really truly believe that if I'm transparent, the devil don't have nothing he could pull out the head and say, gotcha.
Come on.
You know, gotcha. Oh, you thought you hot in this. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, you can't get me, because I already told it. So, oh well. And so with that being with that being said, I mean, it made me wonder why people want war. Why does it, and to me it started for me, it started with that book, Men Are From
Venus.
Men are from
Mars. Women are from Mars, men are from Venus.
It's, to me, in my journey, that's where it started for me. Because to be honest, prior to that, I would have never thought anything one way or the other. I would have just thought men was men and women was women, and we just have to figure out a way to understand each other. But then you put that.
I didn't either.
Okay. Well, yeah.
We raised Zion in
right? Seeing growth, right? Unless you still got one on your nightstand.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't read it because at the end of the day, you could clearly see that men and women think differently. So I was like, well, I want to read a book to tell me that they think differently. Like, because even the old people say, honey, he a man, just let him be a man. Because a man thinks different from a woman, so I ain't have to read the book about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't like to read.
It has evolved. Oh my God. I like the audio. Thank you.
Okay, can I listen to it? Was
Okay.
on
Look,
podcast.com? No.
Was it good, Free? Was it good?
I don't remember.
She didn't read it.
I don't remember.
Read it. She ain't read that book,
remember.
y'all. Don't be listening to that.
I don't remember.
You did not read it.
I think I did read it in the moment
I think
of
I did read it.
My intellectual hippie days.
Okay. You was real deep back in the day. I got you.
I was undeep. I thought I was deep, but I wasn't. So you know how you be. You be like looking at the love seat and be like, you know, I bet you the reason why they call it a love seat because love seat close, right? And when you sit close, man, you be looking and you be like, and then you be like, I love you. Man, we gonna call this a love seat. You know how when you
I'm done.
You've never been around people under the influence of marijuana.
Absolutely, everything deep. Everything deep.
I had to think about it because I don't know. Yeah.
That was back in growth. That was back in my day when I thought, oh my God.
I believe in growth and I believe in all of that, but I believe that some of these folks out here talking about their relationship gurus they capitalize on what's going on in the moment.
I believe that as well.
And that's the energy that I'm getting from her. I thought I liked her when I started digging more. I was like, So I don't know. I have to wait and see. That's me. That's how I am with everybody. Right. Not just I'm like that. That's true.
I would say this.
You're allowed to be who you are.
Right. Because I will say this for me personally.
Right.
For me personally. Listen. I do like how do I want to say it? I do like what she's speaking about. I don't like her approach. And I'll tell you, for me, sometimes she comes really harsh at a person for what they have done or are doing, when we have to realize we all sin and fall short. So it comes off kind of like chastising, when it has to come off with more of compassion. Because again, like you just said, she has a past.
Gotcha.
She has a past.
And everybody has. I don't have an issue with her past. Everybody has a past. I just found it strange, the time lapse in between. It looks like you have 6 months to clean up your marketing era and then rebrand yourself.
Okay.
And then this is the path that I'm going to take.
And I think the reason why I think the reason why you know that, and that could be a thought, because your experiences because that's you're a person that understands and marketing and all of that stuff. Somebody that's just not into that may not ever have that thought. They just may be thinking, oh my God, she changed, So it's just the way we see life. Now, I'm gonna say this.
I like to see people like that. I believe people do change. I think people change for the better, and people do grow. I'm just that, like what Free said. I'm just looking at marketing thing. I'm like, okay, that is a good market. I see you changed your look. You changed your okay, cool.
See, because you're the marketeer, and you like that person. You know how to do your thing. Now, let me tell you, I love y'all, but I'm gonna tell you about the couple. I didn't even know who you were talking about, but I have seen some of her videos before. But like I said, I'm not really on social media like that no more.
Oh, okay.
But I love her approach. And that's the beauty of people. I don't care what nobody say. You say, oh, I love what she's saying, but I don't like her approach. You say, okay, but it seems like, yeah. But me, I'm saying,
be like that, like, yeah.
Because I ain't want to,
and then you like,
that was my repeat. I didn't want to take the whole, that was a long statement.
It was a little shady.
No shade, all tea.
That shade tree.
No shade, all tea.
I got a little Barbie shade house.
Oh, girl, I would never.
I'm just kidding. You better get some shade. If I talk to you, better talk to
like that. But you ain't even sensitive like that. But let me tell you.
No.
I like her approach because she's raw. She
Is she?
keep it funky. But to me, this is me.
I don't think Free have seen a lot of her videos.
I haven't.
Yeah.
But what I've seen, I was like, oh my God. But what I also saw, because like I said, I saw maybe 2 of them. It seemed like people get up and it's like, you know, she gonna say something. You go up there because you want somebody to keep it real. The world is seeking somebody to whoop them. Some people need spanking.
Just what Zane
Not
said.
whoop. They don't
What?
want to whooping. They
I'm
want
not talking about
correction.
beat.
No, but that's what she do sometimes. That's what she do sometimes. That's what
But
I'm
I
trying to tell
haven't seen
you.
it. What I have seen,
Yeah.
I liked. So I get
I
it.
would say when I've watched her,
Pastor
just
Jason
being in
Taylor.
corporate, I don't know better. Well, let me see, because we on a Christian show. I can like
Well,
see when
Christian.
people are like giving me BS. Not that her information is BS.
Okay.
It's her, but like the way she portrays, it's like if I come to you, Free, and I'm like, let me tell you why you're wrong for not following your husband and I'm intense and I'm done, and I see that with big pharma and corporate all day. And I mean, if you're in need, you're gonna buy it. Because they can sell it. To me, it's like she can sell it, but something there is not aligned, and I'm just like,
I think I agree with that though.
I see it.
I
it's
felt
just
that
like
way a couple of times. Well,
and that doesn't make her a bad person. It's just that it's almost like she speaks as if she has to believe it herself. You know what I'm saying? Some people talk like when Free talk and when Zane talk. Not only do you talk with experience, you come with experience, but you come with belief. I believe what you have to say because I can see it in you. I see it in your spirit. I see it in your walk. I see it how y'all talk. I see what you're talking about. You can tell me you're a Christian woman, but when I look at Zane, she don't have to say no words for me to see that in her.
I see the glow of the Lord.
That she's having with this relationship and marital advice, it's almost like I have to know because people are asking me. Although I may not be sure, I have to know because now I'm in this light and I can't, even if I steer them wrong, I still need to say it with confidence. Because there's so many eyes on me right now. So it's like I have to be marketable. I have to come. Yeah, but see, let me tell you where you went wrong.
I'm not gonna always agree with everybody. Like, I get it. And
it's not about agreement. It's about belief.
I understand. So when we so just to kind of back it up a little bit, when we looked at the video that you sent, even if let's just say, for sake of time, that what you're saying, you peep game, and you like, wow, okay. But some of the stuff she said evoked the conversation amongst us to make us kind of like think. It made us so either way, it's not all lost. It does give you the opportunity.
Oh no, she said some good stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Good stuff. What she's saying, I just don't believe it. Yeah, I like what she's.
Okay, I got you.
A lot of the videos that I was watching, I was like, okay, yeah. But then I'm like, girl, something here ain't matching.
I have a question from. I have a question from our audience. The audience says, do you have to have a certain look to hear advice?
Do you have to have a certain look to hear advice?
In order to hear her advice, does she have to have a certain look?
No, but you can. Feel a conviction.
I think you're talking about a physical look. I mean, when I look at you spiritually,
you could see.
I see there's something that, and everybody doesn't have that yet. That's fine.
Right. Okay.
But it's not about an appearance look. It's more about if I walk up to Jesse and I tell him, man, I've been cutting hair for 20 years, he's not going to believe me. I may have cut, but he's not going to believe me. And it's not that I'm bald and shaving and I show, he ain't going to believe me because he knows what a barber looks like. He has that, he knows, what do they say? Birds and feathers flock together. Okay. When I know you in your look, I see you, sis. Like I see Zane. I see other women on the street and I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's my team right now. That's my team. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like a physical look. No, it's more like I don't recognize you.
Okay, gotcha.
And let me tell you, let me say this, because Barbie is not the only one. I have watched one of her recordings, and other people have given her death threats, have given her ugly comments, have
Wow.
done a lot of things. Yeah, because again, you're approaching me like this, but I don't feel a conviction behind it. And I think that's what Barbie is saying is, yeah, you are saying good things, but how if I don't feel a conviction behind it, it just feel like you're bashing me. And nobody wants to be constantly bashed. Like, people take the word of God and they do that bashing thing, and now they're not even hearing the word of God. They're just seeing that you bashing me. So I think that's what happens sometimes.
Gotcha. And it definitely very well does happen at times. Remember, I asked y'all to keep the conversation going because I had to find this. It didn't take me that long to find it, but I love the conversation we were having.
Hold on, Free. Before you read that, another comment is, can God use whom he pleases? We ask for help, but why do we filter it? So my answer is, you don't have a say in who God uses. Can God use whom he pleases? Of course, he's God. He's Lord of all Lord, King of all kings. We ask for help, but why do we filter it? Yes, you do ask for help, and yes, you should filter it, because everybody that's telling you something isn't help. So you have to have a spirit of discernment.
So basically, what you're saying
you need to filter.
You're saying that's what you're doing. When you look at certain videos, you're filtering it through the spiritual, and that spiritual filter shows you if it's real or if it's fake. Not fake.
Well, I don't. Well, let me not say that. I don't believe what she's saying is fake. I don't believe what she's saying is bad. I'm just saying that I see something that's not completely aligned right there. And then from now on, like, even if I see somebody on the street, even some of my closest friends, I don't take advice from them. I'll sit up there and listen to you. But I know you're not in the season. You're not in the realm of where I'm at. Like, not even where I'm at, but just spiritually aligned to where I can take advice from you. That's like me asking a crackhead for marketing advice. No,
gotcha.
That makes no sense.
Because they're gonna be like, look here, let me tell you,
that doesn't make them
what
bad,
you need to do is you need to take that black marker and write that.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. No, yeah, you should filter it. You should filter. You should filter. You use your spirit and you do. People are like, you shouldn't judge. Yes, you should. You shouldn't condemn anybody. But I judge the people that my kids hang around. You can't go hang around with TT and Lolo down the street, hanging out on the corner.
Why not?
No.
What Lolo do?
You know what Lolo did. That's 12 years ago. He started 12 years ago. So no, you can't. Yeah, stop saying that. Stop.
So I understand what you're saying. So basically, be careful that even though it sounds good, that you make sure you filter it before you take it as gold. Like, take the advice and run with it, basically.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And for me, let me say this, because it is coming off like kind of a bashing for her too. So let me say this for me.
I don't want
to let me say this for me. What most of the things she has said, I'm in 100% agreement with. But I will say this, as one who looks at how Jesus moved, it does, and one who loved ministry, it does bother me of how her how she projects that, because we got enough of that already in the church. We got enough of that, of pastors condemning members, making them stand in front of the church, embarrassment. Like, we got enough of that, and that's why people are running from God. If we're gonna represent God, let's represent God, because we gotta draw people. Which I know that God does the drawing, but He does the drawing through the Spirit that's in us, because it's His Spirit. So we gotta be careful that we don't allow too much of us to come out and run people away, because we were trying to get them to truth, and you can't get them to truth when they feel beat up. So that's my only thing. I agree with a lot that she said.
I like what a lot of things that she says. I do. I agree with them, especially the relationship.
Right.
Yeah. So the relationship stuff, I feel like she got some point.
And the beautiful thing to me about it is, it's okay for us not to like everything. Everybody not gonna like the same things. Everybody not gonna like everything. It's just the way the life goes. But we almost out of time. But about that gender thing, let me just break it down. Okay. So Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. We're doing the NIV. He said that to Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you not, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. I need verse 18. Zany, where you at? Okay, wait a minute. Here it is. The ground will sprout. No, that's not that's it, but it goes into him.
What part you trying to get to?
I'm trying to get to the part where he told Eve that she gonna always be trying to get her husband's attention. That's like verse what? 21, 22, 23.
When she gonna always try to get her husband's attention.
Yeah.
You talking about the curse?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is,
because that's where the gender war come from. And see, when when Jesus died on the cross, he reversed the curse. He became the curse for us, right? So what happened was, if you receive Jesus Christ and you understand who he is, instead of always trying to say he wrong too, then what will happen is you will no longer have to worry about gender wars or the curse or any of that, because God says, I reversed that because y'all messed it up. I fixed it. And you don't have to worry about that no more. But because
3:17.
Well, I did 3:17. It might be like
3:16 to 19.
Before it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna let you read that real quick. And the thing is, he basically said, I mean, this is what I believe, because anything God does or says, the devil, because he's angry that he's not God and he wants to be God, he gonna flip it. He's gonna flip it right on its head. So of course, I always believe that there's a spiritual aspect to every situation, because we're spiritual beings more so than natural beings. And when God says, I fixed it, Satan still wants us to believe it's broken. Of course, now he's gonna have male against female, and he uses people to do his bidding because he gets in the ear. Satan don't have no power to make you do nothing. So stop saying the devil made me, but he does have power to influence the desires you already have, and then you go do things on your own, because God said he gave us authority back, and we just, unless we give it away, then it's still ours to have and to do with him and run our lives. But yeah, so be careful, guys, about the fact that whenever God says, I fixed it for you, the devil gonna come right behind and say, did he really though? Did he really say that?
If it's fixed, why does it look like this?
Right. Yeah.
Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Why you need to eat the meat if you can smell it from across the room that is bad and sour? That's another topic. We'll talk about it later. You don't need to eat everything.
Yes. That's a pick your face up moment.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know what we should do with that. Clutch my pearls. Zany, can you read that? What he said about Eve?
Yes. So let me know if this is the right one. It says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Right. And unto Adam, that part, stop.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's what, no, because I already read unto Adam. That's the part.
She was reading that King James version. When I heard that thou, I was like, thou.
And thou saidest.
Yeah, that was
basically the free translation, the lady free version of it says, because you listen to your wife, not because, and don't get like twisted, fellas. He's not saying you're not supposed to listen to your wife. He's saying your wife told you something different than me. And because you listen to what she said over what I told you, then you're going to be cursed by toil and all that stuff. You got to work hard, to eat. However, for the woman, he says you're going to have hard labor when you give birth. And he also said you're going to have a desire for your husband. You're going to always be wanting a man. I got to have a man, the man. And he's going to rule over you. That's that war. We've been fighting that war, but you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight no more, because God already Listen, that was alto. You should have came in with soprano.
Can I
Let's
say
try it again.
something real
Let's
quick?
try it again. Let's try. You don't have to fight no more. I need all three
Okay.
of us. Okay, so this is how it goes. Wait, it's you don't have to fight no more. Okay, ready? Everybody got their note?
No, she doing. You
I'm
doing
going,
soprano?
I'm going down.
You going
Okay.
down?
You
I'm
going
at
down.
the you don't have to. I'm at the you don't have to.
I'm like, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to fight. Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
here we go. 1, 2, ready, and you don't wait. We delayed. It's not gonna work. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
I'm like, what the world?
Come back.
And this is why we need to stay on
you.
topic. First of all, it's a dude on
Okay.
here named Stone Name.
Tony Jackson.
He fine though. He fine. That's all I'm gonna
He
say.
said the hard head makes the soft behind. That's right.
Well, I mean, well, I got a hard head, so what you trying to do?
Listen, you better make that soft behind. But listen, this is
I'm
the thing.
done.
He said a hard head makes soft behind. But listen, this is the thing.
Wait. Before you go, wait. What? I gotta say this before you go, because
Uh-huh.
this was so perfect that you brought this up, Free. Because this goes right in line. I know you wanted to focus on Eve, but let's for a minute focus on what Adam curse was. It
Okay.
said, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow thou shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Hold on.
Okay.
Thorns, also thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. So when we want to be this alpha woman talking about I'm working, that was not your
Right.
curse. That was the man's.
not. That was not. And it don't have to be his curse no
Ooh,
more.
that was good. It just clicked. Okay.
It
It
did.
clicked, right?
I heard
It
it.
clicked, yeah.
It was not the
It just
curse
heard
of
it.
the woman. It was the
Right.
curse of the man.
Of the
So
man.
if you
Right.
are sweating, baby, if you sweating to eat, you out of position.
Ooh,
Ah!
get in line.
Ah!
Get in alignment. You heard this from the word. From
Drop.
the Real Talk Chicks.
Come on,
And the
Zane.
word.
Zane is learning. Zane is dropping well.
That's why we call her the Give 'em God chick, because she gonna give them to you.
Every time you made that very plain and clear.
Okay. So at the end of the day, Stone is talking about y'all better sing. With the A, y'all better sing.
You know, boo.
So, but y'all know what? Even me, I'm so animated. I have that animated side of me. That's part of my personality. So, somebody might say, "Oh, she just too much." Who cares?
Free.
Yeah.
Calm down. You're really not that animated. You're really blowing this out of proportion. You really haven't done anything like crazy.
You like that? Huh?
No, we don't. You're not wild and crazy. You're kind of a get up in
I'm
the morning,
not.
drink a cup of coffee. And
I
then that's
am.
it. Yeah. Let's not even.
Well, well, thank you for taking the curve off.
Free, the craziest thing about you is your hair, and it looks fabulous today.
Oh,
Love
man.
it. You're back. It looks, yeah, you back.
I'm back.
I love it.
Thank you for that. I feel free. So at the end of the day, the war started in the garden.
Yes, it did.
It does not have to continue. It did not start with our ancestors. It did not start when they put us on a boat.
Come on, stop blaming that.
It started way before that. And it ended way before that. But if we want to keep it going, then baby, by all means, keep it going. But as for me and my house, we're going to live in peace. We're going to live in peace. So, that's it for me. How about you, ladies?
I'm
That's
good.
it for me.
All right, chicks. Well, that is all that we have for today. And until next Monday, this is the Real Talk Chicks with Lady Free
Hey.
and Zany.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
With Lady Free,
All right.
Barbie,
Okay.
and Zany. Yeah.
Ah.